Well, hey there, everybody. It's a stormy evening here across the Low Country and the Coastal Empire. We've got a strong storm actually over Bryan County now, heading over into Chatham County. This has very heavy rain with that and frequent lightning and wind gusts upwards of 40-45 miles an hour as well. So I want to take you outside and show you this thunderstorm from camera downtown. So that's looking further off to the north. We've had some heavy rain off to the north in the Low Country, with some areas getting a radar estimated over 2.5 inches as well. But the thunderstorm that's heading our way, you'll have to look a little bit further off to the southwest. And notice how dark those clouds get as you look southwest over Chatham County. You see lightning out there as well. So if you guys are out in Savannah or Chatham County right now, about time to head in if you're on Tybee as well. So you can see those dark clouds coming in with those heavy downpours. So let's show you the radar now. Let's see what's going on exactly. So you can see it there on the camera, but this is what it looks like on radar. This is how I interpret things. So let's time this out. It's moving pretty quick, about 40 miles an hour, and I'll show other areas as well. I'm just doing this first. So looks like Bloomingdale 809, so it's already approaching that area there. Montgomery about 810, Savannah at about 822. So you're already hearing thunder from this. We are here on Chatham Parkway, and it's not a severe storm. Just giving you guys a heads up with this. Going to have a little bit of a gusty wind to it again, 40 miles an hour, not out of the question with this one. And then Limehouse there 842, Tybee closer to 9 o'clock here as we go into the evening. So let me take this tracker off here and we can go ahead and take a peek at what's going on. So how about you folks already getting rain? Richmond Hill, you guys are getting hammered right now, but this is why we always say if you can hear the thunder, you can be struck by lightning, because where you don't see this green and it's just this white gray, that is just the cloud cover showing up from satellites, and you see all these lightning strikes out here. It doesn't have to be raining for you guys to get hit by lightning. So we already need you, we need you to get inside now if you're hearing that thunder. More people have died this year across the country from lightning than tornadoes. So a threat that needs to be taken seriously. But heavy rain here going across 95-17, close to 204 here, south side Savannah, about to get in on some very heavy rainfall as this enters a very populated area. But further off to the north, you guys in Pembroke had just got through thunderstorm there. Black Creek about to get it there. And then Marlow, Guyton, you guys are next. North of Springfield as well, there's a thunderstorm. These are all moving off to the northeast rather quickly. And we did have this one thunderstorm that was over Beaufort County today. I've been watching this one over the past 2 hours. It sat over the same area here, really just south of 278 for about an hour and a half. And that just poured about 2.5 inches of rain. Again, that was just south of 278, so it could have been worse for folks driving in that area. But you guys may have heard a little alarm go off on your phone, and that's for a special weather statement, and that's with this storm that we're looking at right here. So Pooler, you guys about to get in on some heavy rainfall. You can already see some lightning strikes moving on in to that area, already on the north side of I-16. And if you're just joining us here, I'm going to see who's chiming on in here on Facebook. If you're just joining in, these storms are not severe, but they are strong, and a lot of people are home on Sunday evenings. So of course we wanted to let you know what's going on here. So we've got some folks watching at Brandon. We've got Gary. Let's see here. Some limbs down in Hinesville. There were some thunderstorms in that area. And this is the same system that is now, or I guess the storm that's going into Savannah. So we had reports of some limbs down in Hinesville now, that part of the storm north of Richmond Hill. So you could kind of extrapolate and expect the same thing with that storm that is not weakened in that area as well. Let's see who else is chiming in here. People asking about Savannah. This heavy rain coming on in with a 40-mile-an-hour wind, you could have some of those, the wind knock some trees down. Emily just chimed in saying flooding in Hilton Head. And right now, the thing is that these storms are moving so fast. Now they're moving at about 40 miles an hour. Earlier, when there was flooding in Beaufort County, they were not moving. They were kind of back building onto themselves and pretty stationary. But now we are seeing them moving. So flooding is going to be a quick issue, probably only you might experience it for about 15 minutes or so. But with this very heavy rainfall rates over a couple inches an hour going to go through downtown Savannah, and we know how it can get down there sometimes when you get that heavy rainfall. So it's going to be best to be off those roads for now. And we have someone saying that we're getting some strong winds over in Richmond Hill. I'm looking at the velocities here on our radar system, and I did see there was some wind that looked like it would be about 40 miles an hour in that area for sure. As for rotation, not something that I'm worried about, which is good, right? You don't want any of that. But looking at winds, I'm seeing them at about maxing out just under, say, 37 right now is what I'm seeing. So it could be worse, but that's still enough to get in on some tree limbs coming down. South of Richmond Hill right now, this is one of the more active little areas. So let's zoom in pretty close here. Rabbit Hill to Grove Point up toward Forest River Farms. This is where this cell that's very electric is moving off to the northeast. So that's heading toward Montgomery as well. And this is really getting close to 204 as it continues pushing off to the northeast. So let's do another timing on this because the radar has updated as the rain begins to fall very heavy here at the station. I can hear it coming up on the roof. But let's time this out going back into the Savannah area. And these are the latest timings with this. Looks like it's going to be in Savannah proper within the next 20 minutes or so. So this is a quick mover now at this point, and we're seeing Whitmarsh Island, 838, 841 there near Turner's Rock. So this is just the strongest part of what we're seeing out there right now. And again, these are not severe, but a storm does not have to be severe for there to be impacts with it. You can have these stronger storms right now that are under that severe criteria, the ones not quite over 58 miles an hour, which is one of the things we look at. And you can still have tree limbs come down and blow around some furniture that you guys may have out in the yard or the front porch. You definitely don't want to be outside with this. The majority of this lightning, though, all across the area, zooming out here so you can kind of get a picture of where we're looking at. Jessup, Waycross, Vidalia, you guys done with those storms for tonight. Now we're focusing in on this batch of storms here that go all the way south of, or I guess rather east of Statesboro down to the coast. And you can see where that lightning is just really confined is where we're seeing the strongest part of this storm. So I'm going to try to answer a few more of your questions. Hop back on Facebook here. Give me just a moment and let's see what you guys are chatting about. Desmond saying you guys are getting hammered in Clio. We've got Linda asking about Bluffton. So let's go. I haven't talked about Bluffton too much here, but this is going to move toward that area. So right now, you guys in the low country not getting a ton in the thunderstorm activity. This is going to continue moving off to the northeast, though, hopefully weakening just a little bit. I don't see this going above that severe limit, but the Weather Service and Charleston would have to kind of pop on that. That's not really in our, not something we can do. Pembroke, someone's just asking about more storms there. You guys kind of on the back end of this, so you guys are going to be okay, especially if you live on the west side of town. So Pembroke, you guys good for the night, and we're saying crazy winds there, Richmond Hill for a bit now. Yep, and that's where a lot of people are chiming in from over in Richmond Hill, where you see that red, that's going to be your heavier rainfall, your taller clouds, a little bit of a better updraft coming into that area. So you're going to have some bigger drops, heavier rain, but I'm really interested in this area here from Rabbit Hill up to Grove Point. This is where I can see probably where the tallest updraft is. If you took this radar and you turned it up this way, it's where you're going to have your tallest clouds. And in that, you might even have some very small hail, even though it doesn't look like it's the best atmospheric conditions today. If you look at the profile up for hail, you could still get it today. So really the main threats with this, a couple things going on here. As this moves into Savannah, we've already seen a history with this storm of limbs down, winds gusting 40 miles an hour, very possible with this as well. And that's going to really force you inside. Minor street flooding possible, especially in Savannah. Even though this storm is moving fast, since it's just dumping in so much rain, I do think that we could get a little bit of that. And you know, you've heard us say it 1,000 times, but you don't need to drive on those water-covered roadways. Even if you have the truck, you think you can do it, you don't know what's underneath that water. And it's not even so much that it could sweep you away, it's just you don't know what's under there. So don't drive through water-covered roadways. I'm wondering if we could go back to looking at the tower cam that I had pulled up at the beginning of this broadcast, seeing if we could show downtown once more. I'm waiting to see if we can do that again, because this storm's got a lot of lightning, and if we can't, that's okay. But Richmond Hill, you guys are getting on the back end of this a little bit, and now this is going to be moving closer to 204, the south side of Savannah. Also Pooler, shout out to you guys over there. Garden City, someone was asking about Port Wentworth here not too long ago, and that is definitely coming your way as, let's see. And I see someone talking about the Fort Stewart area. You guys definitely had a lot going on over there with this storm going right over you guys earlier. I was definitely watching that. It was going on, and I posted that on social as well. So hopefully you guys tuning in for there. Let's see. Ashley saying rough and Pooler on the south side of 16, and it's pretty rough there. And exactly where we're looking, we just got an update here on the radar. This is one of probably the little cell that you're talking about that just crossed over. Now it's going to 80 into downtown Pooler. This eventually going to the Port Wentworth area, Garden City, and a little bit, but you got a little bit of light rain out in front of that with most of this heavy rain still a little bit further south, closer to 204. I'm not forgetting about you guys a little further off to the west there in Guyton, Black Creek, Alabel, you guys getting in on some heavy rain as well. But these storms, just none of them are severe. None of them that I'm talking to you guys about are severe, which is good news, right? You don't want those severe storms, but I'm still seeing the strongest out of everything. So zooming back out, you'll see that maybe I'm not talking about your town here, especially if you live further off to the west of 95, because you guys are pretty calm for the rest of the night, which is good news. So I'm focusing in on here on where we're seeing the most impactful weather. And there is another thunderstorm that's producing a lot of lightning. This is going to be just off to the northwest of Berryville, Clio. You know, we were just talking about Clio, this storm moving on in here, and you could have some very small hail with this wind, probably above 30 miles an hour with that thunderstorm as well. You can kind of see it stretching out a little bit. It's actually could be a bit of a sign of weakening, which is good, but you're still going to have that confined heavy rainfall about right there. So let's see here. Someone saying they're at 204 heading toward Pooler. You're definitely about to get in the brunt of it with that heavy rain going into the area. But for Savannah downtown, notice it's just some light rain right now. You could look off to the north, see some lightning there over Highway 17. But right now that heavy rain hasn't come. Maybe you can hear the thunder that is overhead here with the lightning. And let's see what else we got here. I'm here to answer your questions at this point. So if you're watching on Facebook, let's chime in, and I will do what I can here to answer those questions. Joe saying Richmond Hill calming down now. Good to hear. It was pretty rough there. The storm that went through Richmond Hill is now on the other side of 95, cross 17, going to 204 as I stand in front of it so you guys can't see it, right? But let's see here. Hitting Paradise Park. Power just went out. Hopefully you get that on coming up soon. Sylvia asking about Garden City, and it looks like you guys are going to get in on this as well. So there's Garden City with that heavy rain. But now let's check in on the thunderstorm warning here, and we do have one. So this is, as we look at this together for the first time, this thunderstorm warning includes new landing here. This goes until 8:45, so we have 30 minutes left on this. This is what it's saying from the National Weather Service here. This storm moving a little bit slower, so east at 15 miles an hour. That means when you have this heavy rain, it's moving slower. You can get a little bit more minor flooding impact with that. But that's for Effingham and Jasper County. Again, this is until 8:45, and here's that thunderstorm that we're looking at right here, Haddonville and Tillman as well. So 60 mile an hour wind gusts, nickel size hail possible with this thunderstorm. And zooming in, so I want you guys to see all of the towns that are included in this, not just the bigger ones. And again, this is Effingham and Jasper County, moving east 50 miles an hour, 60 mile an hour wind, nickel size hail. So if you're in here, you definitely want to go inside. This includes 119, 321 as well, going up toward 652 and 462 as well, because if this is moving east, it's not going to weaken that much. Might not be severe, but it will be under those limits as we go closer toward the Ridgeland area, Bashman, and then it looks like it might go just north of Switzerland. So there's some good news there. So that's the only severe thunderstorm warning that we're dealing with right now, even though it was pretty rough over at Liberty County earlier, also in the Richmond Hill area. That's the only severe thunderstorm warning that is in the area at this time. So let's see here. Let's go back and take a peek at this radar. Trying to answer some of your question here. There's not organized rotation with this. I know we might be a little bit concerned with what has happened over the past few weeks, but right now that's not a concern at this time. But we are getting lightning strikes that are going out ahead of this heavy rain now moving into Savannah here. So even though we don't have the heaviest rain at this point, we are getting these lightning strikes, and you don't have to have heavy rain here. Yellow, that usually indicates maybe moderate rainfall, not the heaviest, not light rain, but we're still getting a good batch of lightning in this area as well, and that's due north of downtown Savannah. So the heaviest rain has yet to move into downtown, already impacting Liberty County, Long, Bryan, Chatham, but this is the latest update here on the radar, and it looks like it has spread out a little bit. And what that usually indicates is maybe the storm's coming down tops wise and it's spreading, but on the front ends of here where you kind of see the contours of the green getting darker, that's where you're actually going to see the wind pick up a little bit sooner as well. So we could be seeing straight line winds 30, 40, 45 miles an hour out ahead of the heavy rain. So the progression of this is going to go, you notice, you'll probably hear the thunder first, and then you'll feel that wind really start to pick up. And then after that, you'll have the heavy rain, the lightning. The small hail is a possibility, but it's not likely with a lot of these. The only place that we're seeing the potential for, the real potential for small hail, and that's nickel-size hail, again, is going to be Effingham and Jasper County. And that's what we're looking at here with this severe thunderstorm warning that lasts until 8:45. And again, if you're just joining us, we do have a good amount of people tuned in here this evening. The only severe thunderstorm warning, even though maybe you're hearing the thunder, seeing the lightning, the wind pickup, the only warned storm right now for 60-mile-an-hour wind and potentially nickel-sized hail is going to be over in the northern part of Effingham County, going across the Savannah River into Jasper County as well. So this is the polygon, as we call it. And now that we have a sense there of the polygon, could go ahead and turn on the radar with it. And notice the severe capabilities of this storm actually probably just going to be right along 119 north of Berryville going into New Landing. So whenever you see these polygons, the severe weather is not always happening the entire polygon at once. It means it's going to likely happen over that. So if the polygon is right here and this is moving east, that would lead me to believe you've got New Landing in the way, and then it crosses over the river, goes to the Tarboro area, and then eventually toward Tillman. If you're on the back side of this storm, Shawnee, Springfield, you guys probably okay. So that's what we're looking at here with that one severe thunderstorm warning. Over the last hour, you can see that storm really kind of just blew up, and it's spreading out a little bit, but it is moving off to the east at 15 miles an hour as well, with potentially 60-mile-an-hour wind, and as well as that's nickel-sized hail potential. So we're looking at the potential for a couple of these other storms to get a little bit stronger here, but right now, if you look at our whole area, the only severe storm that we are seeing is the one that I was just talking about. But we have a few people talking in about some other places. Patty asking about Guyton, so let's go back over toward that area. I want to make sure I touch on all the areas that are getting stormed on. Of course, you guys all matter, all the viewers, everywhere you guys live, as this takes a little while to get going, but there we go. So what we're looking at here would be heavy rain in the Guyton area. Specifically, you were just asking about this. Looks like you guys are actually going to kind of shoot the gap here and miss out on a lot more heavy rain over the next 30 minutes, even though you guys got a lot of heavy rain there going toward Rincon as well. So this is moving into the south side of Effingham County, whereas right now that severe storm is where you see all this lightning. This is what we were just talking about here. Clio in this area getting just a lot of rain right now. But if you guys live on the south side or in Savannah, you're about to notice business picking up a little bit, right? And that heavy rain is going to be moving in here, and it's slowing down just a little bit from what it was. Still seeing this cell right here north of Savannah start to build up a little bit as well. Still healthy with that, with the heavy rain that's coming in on it. And this latest update on the radar is really showing Savannah getting in on this right now, including Garden City. And if you guys live there, you know that, because of course it updates a little bit quicker in real time than on the radar. But still seeing heavy rain coming up, going to come up 204 onto the Truman as well. So if you live south side, this is what you have to be watching out for coming up this way. Isle Hope, Wilmington, Tybee actually might miss out on this. If you guys are out there, you're going to get some rain. The heaviest rain, though, I do think you might miss out on. So looking over the past couple of hours, it does look like this has taken more of a easterly shift versus how it was all day was northeasterly. So as it spreads out, the chances for Wilmington, the islands, Whitmarsh, you guys getting in on these thunderstorms has increased just a little bit. So let's see. Jenny's saying, bring the rain. We need it in Midtown. Well, it's coming. And Lacey asking about Springfield and Clio. I want to give you guys a shout. And if I've missed what you guys have said, I apologize. There are quite a few comments coming in here, but I wanted to show you what was going on with people that I do see the comments for. I pick up my phone and I look at them. Well, wind and lightning in Berwick, I believe that's for sure. Sophie's saying there's still heavy rain and lightning in Richmond Hill. And let's see, raining now in Port Wentworth. Thanks for your report. That's what it looks like here on the radar as well. But for the people that are maybe tuning in, and this is just what's going to happen here for the next couple of hours, really going to calm down here as we go. What is it now? Going on, what, 8:22 or so? Within the next 2 hours, we're just going to lose the energy for this, especially as you see out in front of this. This is a little bit more stable air with the lighter rain falling. I think when these storms move into there, it's just a less favorable environment for these storms to sustain themselves. Really takes a lot for storms to last this long anyways, but since they are under that severe limit, it doesn't take them as much energy to maintain their current strength. So hopefully that makes sense just a little bit, a little method to the madness there. And Doug says it's a storm, it's rain, relax. Yeah, and I agree with you. We're not hyping anything up. It's just thunder and lightning, and the storms moving into Savannah aren't even severe. So we're just telling you what's going on outside. We've had some folks calling in, and we do these digital updates on the weekend at 8 o'clock each night anyways. This one just going a little bit longer because you guys are chiming in here and keeping it going. So Terry says lightning struck across from us, lit up, and no power. If you could let us know where you don't have power, we could try to make some calls and hope to get that power back on for you guys. Not that we have any say in that, but it would be nice. Terry asking about Whitmarsh. It does look like you guys are going to get some as well. But really, these thunderstorms are nothing that are abnormal for this time of the year. There still is that thunderstorm warning that's in Effingham and Jasper County. And that's what I'm going to end with. If you guys have questions, you're, of course, welcome to come in and chime in and ask them. You can always message me on Facebook. My message box for weather questions always open. But even though you're hearing the thunder, seeing the lightning, the rain, the wind picking up, this is the only area that has that severe thunderstorm warning. Again, Effingham, Jasper County till 8:45. If another severe thunderstorm warning happens to pop up, we might come back on here on Facebook just to communicate that with you guys. But for now, I think that these thunderstorms, they're not severe other than this one, and we've got that one talked about. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. If you guys have questions, feel free to shoot me a message here on Facebook. Just search Andrew Gorton, or you could email us. And if you have damage reports as well, unfortunately, if you do, and you want us to know about them, you can let us know as well, because then we can relay them to the National Weather Service. Hope you guys have a good rest of your evening, and stay tuned for updates through the weather app and on social media as well.